Welcome to the Hamsey Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Pablo Navarro. Today is August 14, 2012. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at negative 79. Nasdaq advanced decline differential closed at negative 549. There were 20 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and 0 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. For the volatility, there were 450,000 contracts traded on the VIX today, with 55 million in total premiums paid. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio in August, we saw a 1.4, a neutral reading with 30% of the total premiums paid. September, a 0.31, a bearish reading with 37% of the total premiums paid. And October, a 1.34, neutral reading with 15% of the total premiums paid. We have a special offer by TradeStation. Get your Hamsey Analytics proprietary indicators paid by TradeStation. Here we have the daily chart for SPX. We have another doji today, low volatility day with low volume. Pretty much what we've been getting for the last week or so. But with the good thing, we're holding the 1403, which is the positive 1 sigma. And we are in the positive 1, positive 2 sigma channel still. Our target on the upside is 1422. And on the downside, our support would be 1380, which is the 0 sigma line on the daily chart. One thing that is concerning here is the color here of CI, which is red. We've been talking about for a while now, and now slopes slightly turning flat to negative. We want to take that slope again to positive. Some good days on the market should do that. CI now here is basically flat, and that is concerning. We want it to be positive and going higher as the market rallies. To get shorter term targets, we're looking at the 60-minute chart, support, pivot, and resistance. Today we slightly broke the pivot line, but then we bounced off the lows and finished above it. The pivot line here on the 60-minute chart for the weekly pivot is 1401 for SPX. Our resistance number 1 is 1411. We're trying to break that and go higher for SPX. If we do break to the upside, we're looking for 1417. In case we do break the pivot line to the downside, our first support would be at 1395. Those are the levels to keep in mind this week. Support, pivot, and resistance are critical here on the 60-minute chart. Now going to SPY. Here on the daily chart, SPY continues to be on the channel as we just mentioned for SPX. Target on SPY on the upside is 142.50 and on the downside 138 would be the support. For the 60-minute chart, looking at pivot and resistance, we broke the 140 level, 140.44, which is pivot for the weekly, and we want to break and stay above it. We're looking for 141.32 and 141.80. Our target would be 142, would be a pretty good target here on SPY to the upside, but again we want to see some volatility coming to the market for the intraday action. You can see here, look at this 60-minute chart, pretty flat overall. We haven't even moved for overall 4 or 5 days here, not much going on, volume not here. So we want some volume to come here and confirm the move that we've made recently. Now going to GLD. We're gonna start here with the daily chart for GLD. After yesterday's bad day for GLD, today we had a 0.5% lower for GLD, 155.24. And volatility pretty tight here on GLD. We're now below 0 sigma on the daily chart. And we're looking for 154 to the downside, then 152.50. Those are the next sigma levels here we're watching. On the support, pivot, and resistance for the weekly, yesterday we talked about breaking support number 1, and now we're been riding support number 2. It has held so far here at 154. If we do break to the downside, 154 would be the target. We're right now at 155, so $1 lower here for GLD. Looking at the moving averages for GLD on the daily chart, moving averages are starting to point lower. We could see here 200-day moving average slightly lower to the downside. The slope 100-day moving average kind of flat to the downside also. 10-day moving average clearly going lower. 20-day moving average is flat, and 50-day moving average starting to turn down. If we're making this long-term moving averages go down, prices will follow here. We talked about resistance. We're looking for the 154 and 153 level. If we do not hold, next level we want 150, 149 level. That's gonna be a critical level here to hold on GLD. But again, the important thing here is that we're making lower highs for the last couple of months here. You could see this downward trend, and now the moving averages are starting to turn to the downside. We want either gold to break out and start going higher, or break that 150 level and go lower to get at some levels to trade below that level. Last chart we're looking at, the VIX was 8% higher today, basically retracing yesterday's move that moved out of nothing. Yesterday we talked about the really low level, but again, the important thing here is to look at the channels here. You could see how the VIX is right now on the -1, -2 sigma channel, and it has been riding that channel for over a week now. If we look up, we're looking for 1677, 0 sigma on the daily chart as being some resistance, and to the downside we're looking at 1320 being some support. We want the VIX to stay around 15, 16. Those are pretty good levels here on the VIX so far. Contact Active Traders office in Chicago, Peter Albino, at the number listed below. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.